Well, congratulations everybody. We have made it through 2024 and it is now the new year. And being that it's the new year, let's go over what happened in the real estate market for 2024 and explore what we have in store for us potentially in 2025. So the Las Vegas real estate market has done really well considering the basically uncomfortably high mortgage rates we have seen throughout 2024. Now, some of you may be thinking, Pat, how has the real estate market done really well this past year? I mean, let's look at it basically by the numbers. I say that because a lot of people feel that the real estate market is really in a terrible place. And I think those that are feeling that way are basically coming to that conclusion mainly because of the lack of affordability, that is present in the rental market, especially those looking to purchase a property. Now, when I say that the real estate market has done really well, it's because it has had many reasons basically to not be where it is right now. Now, to better understand exactly what I'm talking about, let's go back to see what property values looked like a year ago.
How far are you going?
So properties in the Las Vegas Valley basically started off with a median sales price of $450,000. Now that's the city of Las Vegas. Now Henderson had a median sales price of $492,000. North Las Vegas was at around $400,000, and Pahrump is right there at $350,000. Now again, I remind you, this was a year ago. But where does that put us today? Where are home values right now? Well, let's first start off basically by understanding where the national median sales price is, just so we have a frame of reference. Okay, you guys, so what we're looking at right here is coming from Redfin. Now, they go ahead and they've gathered tons of data, and they're giving us right now basically what's happening in the overall U.S. housing market. And for a single family home, we're basically at a median sales price of $447,000, as you see right here, putting us at about 5% higher than we were this time last year. So let's check out a chart that's going to end up giving us kind of what the Vegas Valley market looked like going back a year, because it's just nice to be able to check out these charts. Okay, for those of you who are familiar with watching my videos and how I present the data, this graph I use all the time. This is the median sales price for all four cities: Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and Pahrump. Now, this goes back all the way to the beginning of 2023, but you can see the nice consistent incline we've seen in all four cities. Now, Pahrump and Henderson have quite a bit of volatility, meaning that the prices jump up quite a bit from month to month. But to get a better understanding as to what's happening with property values and as far as their increase, check out Las Vegas. This blue line right here, you can see that is consistently gone up. So with that said, this is why I'm saying this is nice for the overall Las Vegas market. So Las Vegas is currently sitting at a median sales price of $470,000, which is a nice increase of about $20,000. Now, if I put it in other terms, we're talking about a 4.5% increase from this time last year. Now, Henderson is at a median sales price of $540,000, which is a $48,000 increase, or a almost 10% increase from this time last year. North Las Vegas is at about $420,000 median sales price, putting them at about a $20,000 increase, or a 5% increase from this time last year. And Pahrump is sitting at about $370,000 median sales price, 20 grand higher, or 6% higher than they were this time last year. Now, this is why, again, I stated that the Las Vegas home values are doing extremely well, despite the headwinds that they face with these high interest rates. So where do mortgage rates, where are they currently? Where do they sit right now? Well, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate has definitely been all over the place this past year. It has bounced from the low sixes to the high sixes and briefly, for a moment, jumped into the low sevens back in April and May. But now that 2024 is over, we've just entered a new year, a lot of people are expecting some big changes now that we have a new president coming into office, which will end up being, inaugurated later on in January. But what kind of changes should we expect to the housing market? Will property values in the Las Vegas Valley continue to increase? Will interest rates basically continue to keep bouncing around that 6%, or will we finally end up getting down into the fives? Now, I'm really curious to know what you guys think as to what's going to happen as we continue to move in to 2025. What's going to happen with prices, what's going to happen with interest rates. If you could, just leave a comment. That would be great for me and really for everybody. Now, I want to take a second to thank you for tuning in, watching this video. Now, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please, I know how redundant it can be by having people ask you to like and subscribe, but that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Please, if you could, it helps out the channel, as you guys well know. Now, in order to know what's likely to happen to property values, to interest rates, and to the supply of homes, it's really going to be dictated by the dominoes that end up falling, right? Now, what do I mean by when I say these dominoes that are supposed to fall? Well, everything takes, one step at a time. If one thing's going to happen, it's all because there's a domino effect before it. So, home prices, interest rates, supply of homes, will not drastically change basically where we're sitting at right now unless something significantly happens with the economy. So if the economy continues to remain strong, meaning that they're relatively low unemployment rate, right, and that consumers continue to keep spending as they have, I expect that mortgage rates will stay in the sixes. But if we start to get a much slower economy and the unemployment rate actually begins to tick up, I expect that the mortgage rates will fall significantly, actually probably pretty quickly, into the 5% range. So let's say that happens. The economy really slows and a lot of people start losing their jobs. How will that affect property values and mortgage rates? We would most likely end up seeing the Federal Reserve quickly ended up dropping the federal funds rate to spur the economy to grow again. We would see mortgage rates quickly end up dropping as well. But I would almost guarantee that mortgage rates would definitely, in that scenario, fall into that 5% range. Now, this will definitely end up making the cost of owning a property a lot more affordable, and I'd expect that the demand for properties or home ownership would end up jumping way up, therefore, making a lot more buyers really just able to purchase a home. So what's going to end up happening if all of that happens to the supply of properties? Well, you guys already know, if you've been watching my videos, that in the Las Vegas Valley, we have an unbelievably shortage of the amount of properties available for sale. And one of the major reasons for this is that a lot of homeowners who would likely end up selling, they're postponing listing their properties because of these high interest rates. So if we end up getting lower interest rates in 2025, perhaps that might push these homeowners to put their properties onto the market, therefore increasing our property, the supply of homes. Now, for those of you who are waiting for this so-called, bubble to pop in the real estate market, the collapse of the values that so many people are either expecting or wanting, I've got some news for you. You may end up waiting around a lot longer for that to end up happening. Now, I say this because, I want you guys to look at the number of properties listed for sale that are due to foreclosure, right? I mean, what would be one of the other reasons why we get a massive, uptick in the amount of properties available for sale? Well, one, people would start defaulting on their loans, moving them into foreclosure, and then boom, now we've got, in a sense, a wave of foreclosure or bank-owned properties. But if we're not really seeing that, would that end up changing your guys' mind? Well, let's kind of get into this. So we currently have over 3,000 3,000 properties currently listed for sale in the city of Las Vegas, and that's just single-family homes. Now, again, for those of you that didn't hear me before, we currently have a shortage of homes available for sale. So we're already like way down the average. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. All right. Now I'm going to show you what this supply of homes actually looks like so you can get an idea as on a chart that I'm not just, making this stuff up. Check this out. Okay. So this right here is a chart for all 4 cities, homes available for sale. Now look at this. We're going all the way back to 2014. Now you can see here that if you were to, and I know there's massive volatility here, right? There's properties as far as the number of homes all over the place. But if you kind of took an average, that's going to put us right at about 45, maybe 5,000 properties on the market typically. But look at where we're at right now. That's way below that 4,500 or even 5,000. So if that's the case, then if we're already starting out with an extremely low supply of properties onto the market, well, even if we had a jump of, a bunch of properties coming onto the market, then it will end up probably maybe putting us right there where we normally are, or an average about 4,500 properties, right? Okay, so we've got some room to move. Now, I want you also to understand this, okay? This does not include townhouses or condominiums. This is just single-family homes. So with over 3,000 properties currently available in the Las Vegas market right now, there are only roughly about 26, maybe 30 foreclosures on the market, and about maybe that same amount of bank-owned properties. So if you were to cut, break that down by the numbers, you're talking about 0.00, like 8% of the market that foreclosures and bank-owned properties ended up representing. So you're talking about literally nothing, right? So now, let's throw it on the flip side here. What does that mean for short sales? Well, short sales, it's even lower. There's only about, maybe 10 or 8 properties that end up coming up available for sale. So there's really next to nothing. Foreclosures, bank-owned properties, short sales. So we'd have to make up a bunch of ground in order for us to have an oversupply of properties. So Las Vegas would need a massive amount of properties to come onto the market all at once. So in order for the collapse in property values to occur, something absolutely catastrophic would have to happen with the economy first, right? So something along the lines of, mass unemployment would have to occur for whatever reason, right? In order for this so-called basically bubble to pop, which frankly, I don't see happening anytime in the near future. So I hope that ends up providing you guys with enough information for you guys to kind of plan out what your next moves are moving into 2025. Now, if you guys have any questions about the market in general, about maybe your particular situation or your property, please end up reaching out to me. You can reach out to me at any time. Now, also, I would say, share this with somebody that you know. There's a lot of people that could benefit from the information that you're listening to right now. So if you think that this information is helpful, please end up sharing this with them. But I hope that this provides you guys with some level of confidence, knowing what to expect as we move into the new year. All right, for those of you who don't know, I am a licensed real estate agent here in Nevada. So if you're wanting a real estate professional that really understands the market and you're planning on buying or selling a home, please end up giving me a call. I will do everything I can at my, utmost to help you guys out through the entire process, making buying or selling a home almost completely stress-free. So please end up reaching out to me. I can't emphasize this enough, but I can't help you guys out if you don't end up giving me a call. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to meeting up with you guys in the next video.